Okay, so today we are working with fractions. Fractions can also be called rational numbers. So they can either be expressed as a quotient, which is just the answer to a division problem. Or they can be a fraction. Okay? The denominator can never be 0. Zero. Okay, so when we are adding or subtracting rational numbers, they need to have the same denominator. Remember, denominator means the bottom of the fraction. This is also known as the common denominator. Make sure your phones are away right now. Lane? The 11th. So if your rational numbers have a common denominator, you just combine the numerators and make sure your final answer is fully simplified. Okay, so on A, I'm adding 1/6 to 7/6. These ones have the same denominator. So when I write my final answer, my denominator is going to stay the same. Okay, so I am going to just add my top numbers. I'm going to do 1 plus 7. And my bottom number is going to stay 6. So what do I get on the top? And on the bottom? Okay, what do I notice about these two numbers? They're both even, the 8 and the 6. So what can I divide out of both of them to make them smaller? 2. They both are divisible by 2. So 8 divided by 2 gets me, and 6 divided by 2 gets me. Questions on A? Yes? No. So in Algebra 1, we will be using improper fractions a lot. So we should almost never have mixed fractions in here. So on B, what do I want to do? So I'm going to do 5 minus 9, and it's going to stay over the 4. What is 5 minus 9? Negative 4. And the bottom stays 4. Then what can divide both of these numbers? Anything larger than 2? Is that what you're going to say, Roberto? Is that what you're going to say? Okay. So what is negative 4 divided by 4? Yeah?
Negative 1.
Okay. And the 4 on the bottom? Divided by 4? 1. So should I leave it like that?
No.
How should I write it?
It's negative 1.
Just negative 1. So questions there. Okay. So if I have rational numbers that do not have a common denominator, so that means the bottom of the fractions are different, what I want to do is I can change one or both of my fractions by multiplying the numerator and the denominator. Hold on. To make both the denominators the same. Okay, so on A, do those have the same denominator? No. What do you think I should do? Okay, why am I multiplying 1 over 5 by 2? So I want to make the denominator 10. I'm actually going to multiply by 2 over 2. Does anyone know why I'm doing that? Okay, but why am I not just multiplying by 2? Yeah? Do you know why I have to multiply them both? No. Do you know, Roberto? So I want to turn them both into 10, yeah? Do you know? What value is the same? Okay, so 2 over 2 is really 1. So if I multiply them both by 2, it's going to keep the fraction the same. If I only multiply one of them by 2, it's going to mess with my fraction and not make it the same. So 2 times 1 gives me 2 times 5 gives me. Okay, and then my second fraction is going to stay the same. So I have 2 over 10 plus 2 over 10. So I'm going to add the numerators together. What is 2 plus 2? What? I thought I heard a 12. Okay. Do we like it written like this? No. What do we want to do to fix it? So 4 divided by 2 is going to give me, and 10 divided by 2 is going to give me. Questions on A? Okay, what about B? What should I do here? Yeah? Okay, so 3 times 1 is going to give me 3 times 4 is going to give me confused on where I got those numbers in red. So can you explain why you chose those numbers? Wait till next. Okay. So I want my denominators here to match. So she picked the opposite. Why was my timer running? She picked the opposite denominators to multiply by. What is 2 times 4? Three times 4? Yeah, 3 times 4?
No, sorry. I thought it was the sign after.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, so then I want to, guys, I want to take my numerator and write 3 minus 8, and then on my denominator that's going to say 12. Then what is 3 minus 8? And my denominator is, can I simplify this anymore? I can? No. So, I'm going to get that as my final answer. Okay, so on the back side, when we are multiplying rational numbers, remember rational numbers are fractions, we can multiply straight across. Guys, you should be quiet right now. So here I have a fraction that is a over b times c over d. So if I was multiplying these two together, my top would be a times c, and my bottom would be b times d. They're just placeholders for real numbers. Okay. We can also cross cancel and simplify before I multiply across. So basically, if I have a number that's on the top of one fraction and it's the same number on the bottom of the other fraction and I'm multiplying, I can cancel them out before I multiply to make it smaller numbers to work with. So this one should be numerator, and this one should be denominator. So basically, that just means I want it to be on the top, one number to be on the top, and the same one on the bottom to cancel it out. So for this example, what I want to do is I first want to rewrite 12 and 25 as different factors, so things that multiply to them. So I can rewrite 12 as 2 times 6. How can I rewrite 25? Okay. So do I have any numbers that are on both the top and bottom now? What number? Yeah, Roberto?
What?
Is there any number that's on both the top and bottom of either fraction? Huh?
150?
No.
What? 25?
No, I don't want to multiply. I'm looking for 6 is on the bottom, and it's also on the top. So I'm going to rewrite this 6 as a 1 now that I've canceled it out. Any other numbers that are on both the top and bottom? 5. So I'm going to cancel out one of the 5s from the bottom. And this one on the top I'm going to rewrite with a 1. So really, on the top I'm doing 1 times 2, because that's what I don't have crossed out for my top numbers. And then on the bottom I'm really doing 1 times 5. Next Thursday. Quiz. No, the test like the end of the month. Okay, questions there? If you don't have a question, you should be quiet right now. Okay, so the next one wants me to simplify. Can I cross cancel on A? Is there any number that appears on both the top and bottom here? No, so I should just multiply straight across. What is 2 times 7? Okay. Does that need to simplify? No. So that is my final answer. Okay, so on B, what do you think I should do first? I can multiply, but it's going to give me bigger numbers if I don't cross cancel first. So I'm going to simplify. How can I rewrite 9? Okay. How can I rewrite 20?
10 and 10.
Close.
I mean 10 and 2.
Okay. So what can I cancel out here? Yeah? Huh? Yeah, I can cancel out a 3 from the top and a 3 from the bottom. Remember, I always want to cancel out in pairs. This bottom 3 I'm going to rewrite with a 1. What else? Or is there anything else I can cancel out? The 2's. So that is going to leave me with 3 times 10 on the top. And what am I multiplying on the bottom? 1 and 1. Okay, so I get 30 on the top, and what do I get on the bottom? 1. Do I like writing it like that? How should I write it? Just 30. Okay, so last thing we're going to talk about is dividing with our fractions. So when we're dividing, we just add one more step to the multiplication process. We're going to, quiet down, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. It's just a really weird word for saying flip the fraction. So if my fraction is really a over b, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is just b over a. Just flip the top and bottom. Okay, and we only do the reciprocal of the second number in a division problem, or the second fraction. Okay, so on this one, I have a over b is going to stay the same. Then, because I'm dividing, I'm going to change it into multiplication, and then flip that fraction. D over C.
Oh.
That's okay. Okay, so on A, I have 1/3 divided by 6/5. I'm going to change this into a multiplication problem. The 1/3 stays the same. Division is going to turn into multiplication, and then I'm going to flip that second fraction, so it's going to become 5 over 6. Okay, so then, just like before, I'm going to multiply. Is there anything I can cross cancel? No, so then I just multiply straight across. 1 times 5 gives me 3 times 6. Can I simplify 5 over 18? That's my final answer.